Hello everyone, how's it going? This is Bloody Bananas. Welcome to another video. In this video we're going to showcase 4 sets of battles that we played with the same Altaria Empoleon core with Hypno as our safe swap. After we released our last video, I saw a lot of questions asking what can we replace instead of using Mew, and to that I think the best alternative to a Mew is Shadow Hypno or regular Hypno if you don't have the Shadow Hypno, or if you have Cresselia. Cresselia could be a very good alternative to a Mew as well. And another alternative would be Jellicent if you have access to a Jellicent. But in this video we're going to showcase this team using Hypno instead of Mew as the safe swap position. We did extremely well with this team as well. We went 15-5 in these 4 sets that we played with this team. So I would say this team is definitely extremely good, well balanced, and I'm gonna explain in details how you play against a lot of the matchups. So I hope you guys enjoyed the footage here. Let's start off the battles. So the first battle we're playing against a Venusaur lead, so it could be the common double tank team. Since we don't have Mew, we can't really win switch advantage reliably with our Hypno, so we have to go into Empoleon here in order to win switch advantage for certain, right? All you have to do is double shield, and then you can generally get a shield from them and also farm down. So here we throw the Hydro Cannon, we get a shield. You just have to shield again. They can't double bait and still win this matchup, so all you have to do is double shield and then you win this matchup. And now we'll see the Venusaur come back, right? What you want to do is you want to preserve this Empoleon, because you know they have another tank in the back, and you need this Empoleon in order to handle this Bastodon that we're seeing, right? So that's why I chose to swap out there aggressively, just so that we have this Empoleon for this enemy Bastodon later, because you definitely need this Empoleon in order to take down the enemy Bastodon. So basically you're just trying to bait it out and sacrifice your Hypno. Here we just do as much chip damage as possible with our Hypno. We got 3 fire punches off, which does a good amount of chip damage, so their Bastodon is pretty low here. And then now we can reliably come in with our Empoleon, and we have the perfect alignment here. I believe I'm actually not going to shield anything. We also caught the Frenzy Plant when they tried to snipe our Empoleon. So now it's looking very good. All we have to do is just farm down this Venusaur completely. Even if they got to a Sludge Bomb here, it's still fine, because we still have our Empoleon to take down the Bastodon for later, right? Here, since their Bastodon was already low from all the chip damage, all we have to do is to throw 1 Sky Attack plus a Dazzling Gleam to take down this Bastodon with our Altaria, which is very good. So that's generally how you play against a double tank team. You want to preserve your Empoleon after you beat the G-Fisk, and then you save it for later against the Bastodon. Next up, we are against Deoxys. So this matchup is pretty even. If they have Rock Slide, it's kind of bad for you. But here we go for a Sky Attack just before they get to the next Rock Slide, and they shield, so we're gonna match shields when they get to the next Rock Slide. So here we definitely want to shield this. It turned out to just be a Psycho Boost, and they had a Mandibuzz in the back. Mandibuzz is not great for me because I don't have a good answer to a Mandibuzz. Empoleon is going to lose to a Mandibuzz just because of how bulky this Mandibuzz is, and it gets to the foul place a lot faster than Empoleon gets to the Hydro Cannon. So I think here my opponent throws just before I get to the Hydro Cannon. This puts me into a very bad situation. I kind of have to let it go. Yep. And now I come in with my Altaria in order to farm this down, or I might be throwing the Sky Attack right away. So they go for a move here. It does not KO our Altaria. I'm just going to save the shield and hoping that Hypno can finish the end game. Here we have to throw, or our Altaria is going to go down to the Snarls, right? It turned out they had a Galvantula in the back, so it's not looking very good. It's not looking very good. Fortunately, we sneaked in that confusion. That was huge. If we didn't sneak in that confusion, this game would be a lot different. So now they are kind of forced to swap into a Deoxys here. And they go for the Rock Slide. We have to come out of this matchup with 2 Fire Punches. So I cannot throw another one. I need energy in order to take down the Galvantula. So I just wanted to farm all the way down and hoping that my Hypno can tank this. And Hypno was able to tank a Psycho Boost at that range, which is absolutely incredible. That was definitely something that Mew couldn't do. Just the pure bulk of Hypno. So we did come out that matchup with 2 Fire Punches and able to take down the shield and KO the Galvantula with the second Fire Punch. Good game to my opponent. Next up, we have Hypno against Talonflame. So this was right after the community day. A lot of people are probably rolling with Talonflame, but I think we only saw one of them. We get to the move. He gets to the Brave Bird at the exact same time as we get to the Sky Attack. So I just throw the Sky Attack right away to CMP tie. That way we force a shield from my opponent. Like this, my opponent had to shield there. And then they come into a Azumarill. All I have to do is come out with Hypno. And 2 Thunder Punches will KO this Azumarill. Let's see what my opponent does here. My opponent throws. I wanted to shield a Hydro Cannon in case this was Hydro Cannon, but it was just an Ice Beam. So it was kind of an unnecessary shield. I'm going to throw right away before they get to another move. They're 1 bubble away from Ice Beam, I believe. So we still have very healthy Hypno here with a shield. They still have a shield, but let's see what we can do here. He has to throw energy with the Talonflame, or we're going to get the shield here. Our Hypno was just going to take down the Talonflame if they don't throw energy here. So, yep, they're kind of forced to throw a move here. It will KO our Hypno. And now I believe we come out with Empoleon and just to farm down. 2 Waterfall will KO, so my opponent couldn't get a move off. Extremely strong Empoleon there. So good game to my opponent. My opponent didn't even reveal what was in the back, but it could be a tank. So, alright. Against Alolan Marowak, very good matchup. If they have Alolan Marowak and double grass in the back, like Caleb Pang's line, then generally your Altaria is just gonna sweep the entire team. We tank the first Shadow Ball in case they get a debuff. That means we have to shield the next one. We get a shield back here. They go for a move. We do have to shield in case this was a Shadow Ball, but I believe my opponent baited here with the Bone Club, so very good play by my opponent. Here I'm just going to throw the Sky Attack to finish this Alolan Marowak off before he gets to the next Shadow Ball. My opponent actually did not, actually double shielded, so I just go into my Empoleon and then hoping to farm down and maybe draw out a grass type that could have. Turn out they just had a Azumarill, which Empoleon can absolutely handle this matchup, right? Also we have Hypno, which is very good against this Azumarill as well. So we're just gonna let our Empoleon go down here, but my opponent actually baited with Ice Beam, which does not KO our Empoleon. So now I'm trying to count so that I throw my move right when they get to the Ice Beam, forcing a CMP tie. And my opponent actually didn't throw right away, but my opponent got a little bit too greedy with their farm and lost track of our energy, so that we could finish off with just Empoleon there. And then they had a Meganium in the back, and my Hypno with the shield up could definitely handle the Meganium. Good game to my opponent. My team, my Altaria essentially was very good against their team. So Alolan Marowak again. Let's see what my opponent does this time. They generally go for the Shadow Bone right away, which makes a lot of sense, right? It's not a good matchup for the Alolan Marowak. This just have to do as much damage as possible. My opponent got the defense fell again. These matches are back to back, so it was a little unfortunate. This guy actually didn't shield, so I could just Dragon Breaths all the way down. Because they just let it go down, I'm going to swap into my Hypno to see what they could have in the back, because they're definitely weak to Altaria in the back as well. Could be a grass type. That's why I'm doing this. I just go into Hypno. My opponent builds up a lot of energy here. And I was thinking this was just an icy wind and I didn't want to shield. It turned out to be a blizzard and it almost one hit KO me here, which is very unfortunate. But this is fine because now our switch clock is very close to coming back up. They have a Medicham in the back. This is not great, but fortunately we were able to get to this drill pack. This will do a lot of neutral damage, super effective damage, and my opponent had to shield that. So now I go into my Altaria. I had a Sky Attack stored, and it almost takes down the Medicham. Here I actually believe I just let my Altaria go because I don't want my opponent Dewgong to get more farm. Yep, so my opponent only got 2 Ice Shards in, and now we have 2 shields. 2 shields versus a Dewgong, and I double resist everything they can throw. So this is pretty much game over. All I need to do is get to a drill peck and some waterfalls in order to KO, so my opponent can seize the match. Very good game to my opponent. As you guys can see, the Hypno safe swap is definitely doing a lot of work, and we got a 5-0 there, as you guys can see. And then I think we make a lot of misplay here. Let's see what we do. Because we got 2 5-0s, so meaning we definitely did not well in the other 2 sets. So let's see what we could improve on. Don't get too frustrated by the losses because there's always something that we can learn, that we can improve on for the future. Here, I know that they have a grass hole, so double razor leafers in the back. I go into my Hypno. I got 2 shields off from my opponent Tropius. This is looking pretty good. Because if they don't have a shield, Empoleon can actually handle the razor leafers in the back. All we have to do is get to a drill pack with our Empoleon. We still have 2 shields remaining, so let's see how we play this out. We're not going to shield anything from the Tropius. We're going to Dragon Breaths all the way down. And now I go into my Empoleon right away. They do have another Razor Leafer Victory Bell, Shadow Victory Bell in the back, but we just need to get to the drill pack here, which should one-hit KO this Victory Bell. And then we have Empoleon versus Bastiodon, which essentially is a free matchup for my Empoleon. So my opponent can seize the matchup. Very good game to my opponent. Next up we have Altaria versus Rumel. Very bad. We're going to go for the safe swap, Hypno. And then they have a Cresselia safe swap. So this is kind of the situation where you wish you had a Mew. But unfortunately we're rolling with a Hypno this time, and we don't have Shadow Ball. So all we can hope for is doing as much chip damage as possible. So it's not looking very good. Hypno does not win this matchup at all because Cresselia pretty much resists our confusions, and then the punches don't do that much damage. Unless we have Shadow Ball, then we could possibly win this matchup. But this time we're just going to lose this matchup. We're going to farm down with our Altaria here, I think. Yep, now we go for the full farm down. We do have to tank a Moonblast here. So this is looking very bad for us. We just have to rely on our Empoleon at this point to see if it could finish off the game. And it turned out they had a Bastiodon in the back, so we might have some play here. All we have to do is take down this Azumarill, and then we just have to rely on the Empoleon to take down the Bastiodon as well. I do have to shield the Hydro Pump though, but my opponent baited me with an Ice Beam. This is not very good. I think my opponent actually goes for straight Ice Beams. Yep, so I think this was just another Ice Beam, so I don't shield this one. It's double resisted. Here I'm going to go build up a little bit more energy. I think this was a mistake for me to not shield here, because by not shielding, I am essentially in smackdown range from the Bastiodon, right? And I needed to farm this Azumarill all the way down, I think. This was definitely a misplay by me. So now I'm in smackdown range, and I needed to get to the second Hydro Cannon, or I have no answer to this Bastiodon, right? So yep, so this is a little bit painful to watch for me at this point, because it feels like it's a game that I definitely could have won, but yeah, a little bit of misplay by not shielding the Ice Beam and farming down this Azumarill. So yeah, but that's what happens. You learn from some of the mistakes. Here, another really bad matchup, Dewgong. We're just gonna go into our Hypno, and maybe we're gonna tank an Icy Wind, but they had a Sableye, so so far they have perfect lead counter and they have a perfect answer to my safe swap. It's looking very bad, but fortunately we actually got a shield from my opponent, so it's looking a little bit better. But unfortunately I think my opponent so far has just the perfect answer for us, right? Let's see what they could have in the back. But we are gonna farm this Sableye all the way down with our Altaria right here. Yep, they do get to a return, I think, which does a little bit more damage than the foul play. But it was also arguably that they could get to 2 foul plays. Maybe not, but it would be close. They have Dewgong. I'm gonna chip it down a little bit with our Sky Attack. So now I go into my Empoleon. My opponent goes for an Icy Wind. It's double resisted, so I do not shield. Let's see what they have. They had a Medicham, so I don't think there was a win condition for me at this point. They had an Ice type Dewgong versus my Altaria, and then they had a Sableye versus my Hypno, and then they have a Fighter versus my Empoleon. So essentially it's just a hard counter line, and there's nothing you can do against this type of line. Just forget about this game and try to win the next game, because there's nothing you can do to win a completely hard counter team, right? My opponent also saved an Icy Wind here, which is very smart, and just take down our Empoleon here. Good game to my opponent, very well played. Here, Altaria versus Stunfisk. Again, a bad lead. We're going to get out of here right away into our Hypno. I think my opponent goes for an Earthquake right here before he swaps out. I went for the CMP tie here for the Fire Punch because I want to chip it down. I want to chip down the Stunfisk as much as possible. Yep. So now it's in better farm down range to my Empoleon later on, and that's really what I wanted to achieve, right? So now here my opponent has a Azumarill. I was able to get to 2 Thunder Punches, which forces my opponent to shield, right? Yep, my opponent does shield. Here I'm gonna do something really crazy. I'm gonna tank an Icy Wind, Ice Beam, and then I'm gonna farm this Azumarill down with my Empoleon, because I'm thinking that I lost switch advantage anyways. My Altaria is kind of useless against a Stunfisk, so I'm just gonna rely on my oh, there I make a huge mistake by not shielding the Hydro Pump. That was a huge mistake. Now I put myself in farm down range versus the Toxicroak, so yeah, that was not good. That was an extremely bad play by me on my part. Also, if we just saved the Altaria, maybe we could have just finished off this game with Altaria as well. So I think there was a lot of misplays by me. I miscounted. I thought that wasn't a Hydro Pump and I didn't shield. So they still have a Azumarill here. That's why I'm trying to build up to another Sky Attack. But I think my opponent is just gonna Mud Shots us down. Good game to my opponent. A huge misplay by me. I think I could have maybe won that game if I played a little bit more optimally, but we gotta learn from the mistakes, and hopefully we could win a similar situation the next time. Here my opponent throws when he has enough energy for Rock Slide. Let's see if he does. He does have the Rock Slide. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna throw the Sky Attack before they get to the next Rock Slide, and if they shield, I am gonna match the shields. Yep, I'm gonna match the shield right here. It could be a Psycho Boost or it could be a Rock Slide. So we do shield the Rock Slide, and then we get to the Sky Attack before they get to the next one right here. Forces my opponent to shield, or we win switch advantage, right? My opponent had a Skarmory. I have a perfect answer in our Empoleon versus Skarmory, so I'm going to build up to Sky Attack and then safe swap into my Hypno. Here, my opponent comes in with Obstagoon, which is the perfect situation. Because we're baiting out this Obstagoon right now, our Empoleon does not have to see this Obstagoon, which is exactly what we wanted, right? Here, I'm going to do as much chip damage as possible. I know I'm going to lose this matchup. Yep. So now I just have to throw the Sky Attack that we built a little early to grab the last shield, or we almost take down this Obstagoon, right? If we take down this Obstagoon, it's very good. We also got a lot of health from that. So now I have Empoleon lined up against Skarmory, one of the most satisfying matchup that you could have, because we resist everything they throw, and we're gonna win this matchup no matter how they play. So I'm gonna tank 2 Sky Attacks, and I believe I'm just gonna build up to 2 Hydro Cannons, and then I'm gonna shield once here. All I have to do is throw 2 Hydro Cannon here versus their Obstagoon. They actually got a counter through, so that was very, very, very sweaty. If that counter KO'd, we would lose this game. But fortunately, Empoleon was able to hold on and take down this Obstagoon with 2 Hydro Cannons. Well played. Good game to my opponent. Next game, we have Altaria versus Swampert. Like I said in my last video, when you see Swampert lead, generally 95% of the time, it's gonna be a win for you. Because they always have a Skarmory in the pack. And all you have to do is get switch advantage or shield advantage. Either one of them, you're gonna win the match, just with Empoleon. So here, they go into Vigoroth. We're gonna go for Sky Attack, and now we go into Hypno to ensure this switch advantage here. I believe we do have to shield once. I'm not sure exactly, but let's see. I should really be throwing my move right here. My opponent got to another Body Slam. I have to shield here because I wanted to ensure switch advantage. I know that my Empoleon was going to finish off the Swampert and the Skarmory anyways. Especially Skarmory has essentially no play versus my Empoleon. Let's see what we do here. We're just going to chip it down with the punches. My opponent, we actually got a shield from my opponent. I think he thought we had a Shadow Ball. So that was very fortunate. And at this point, my opponent has no answer to my Empoleon. Yep. So my opponent concedes the match. And good game to my opponent. Essentially, we had perfect counters. This is why I love this team. Because when you see Swampert lead, you just think that this game, you have the game, basically. Here we have Altaria versus a Galvantula. You definitely want to see Galvantula in the lead, like I mentioned last time as well. You don't have to shield the first one. We're going to match their shields. It's usually how I like to play. But my opponent actually swap out into Deoxys. I'm going to build up a little bit of energy. And then I'm going to go into my Hypno to ensure that we win this matchup. Because we definitely don't want our Empoleon to see the Galvantula, right? So here I'm just going to rely on my Hypno to maintain the switch advantage so that we see the Galvantula with our Altaria instead of the Empoleon. Here I think I don't shield this, or I might shield this to ensure the switch advantage. So my opponent goes for Rock Slide. I didn't need to shield. If I could farm this down, it would be very good. I was able to farm it down. And now I panic clicked on the Thunder Punch versus their regular Stunfisk, which triple resist the electric type move. So that did almost 0 damage, right? At this point, I go into my Empoleon because I know that my Altaria is how we're going to win the game, right? Altaria can beat the Stunfisk, and it beats the Galvantula. So here, we're going to shield this. And then we're going to farm down this Galvantula. We know it's a lunge, but we do have to shield anyways. And now we just have to do as much damage to this Stunfisk as possible. If they don't shield, I'm going to farm down with waterfalls. But if they shield, I have almost a Hydro Cannon ready, right? So they had to let one Sky Attack go through. But they do shield the next one. And then they go for a move right here. I'm going to let my Altaria go down at this point, because I recognize that my opponent is almost in farm down range. We still have a shield. We just need 4 waterfalls, and we're able to get to one more waterfall there to finish off this game. So good game to my opponent. Very close at the end. Here we have Altaria versus Umbreon. You definitely want to see this in the lead, because your backline is very weak to an Umbreon. Here I'm going to go for straight Sky Attacks. I learned from my mistake in the past. I actually thought about going for the Dazzling Gleam, but in reality, Sky Attack is generally better. My opponent goes for Deoxys. This is also where I missed having a Mew, because a Mew against Deoxys is very, very dominating. But now we have to chip it down with the Sky Attack, and then we can go into our Hypno to ensure we win this matchup, right? Which is fine also. We go for the Fire Punch. We actually got a shield for my opponent. I don't think I need to shield anything. Nothing KOs here. And I'm okay with getting 2 shields here. Even if we don't win switch advantage. Because I know that my Empoleon doesn't really have much play against well, it's not bad against the Umbreon anyways. Here I could actually shield and beat this Deoxys, but at this point I would rather have the farm, the energy advantage here. So it turned out my opponent had a Alolan Ninetales, and yeah, so that means my Penguin can definitely, my Empoleon can definitely handle the 2 Pokemon that they have, right? So here I'm gonna throw the Hydro Cannon, and then I'm looking to farm this Umbreon all the way down. Let's see if I'm able to do it. I do have to shield this. If I can farm this Umbreon all the way down, I should come out with 2 Hydro Cannons, and all I have to do is throw double Hydro Cannons in order to KO the opponent Alolan Ninetales with Charm. So he doesn't get to energy very fast. And he's still like 4 charms away from his Weather Ball. Here we get to the Hydro Cannon, the second Hydro Cannon, and to finish off this Alolan Ninetales. So it's a sweep by Empoleon here. Absolutely incredible Pokemon. I love Empoleon. It's Penguin wants to play. Altaria matchup. Against Altaria, what I like to do is throw Sky Attack. If they don't shield, I'm going to shield and farm it down. But if they shield, I'm going to match shield and try to catch the next Sky Attack with our Empoleon. Here, my opponent shielded, so I'm going to match the shield. I'm always going to shield in this matchup, essentially. And now I'm looking at the energy. I'm looking to swap, but they actually had a Lantern. So I wasn't exactly sure what to do here. But I built up to a Sky Attack. My opponent actually don't have a Sky Attack right there. So I'm just going to go into my Hypno here and do as much damage as possible to this Lantern. Let's see. I believe we actually get to the Thunder Punch before they get to a move here. Yep, this is pretty good. We do get rid of this Lantern, which could be kind of troublesome versus our Empoleon, right? Here, I'm going to farm down with my Empoleon, I believe. Yep. Oh, is this the game where I make a huge misplay? I think so. Let's see. Yep, they had a Toxicroak in the back. I thought that I could get to a Drill Pack, but apparently we couldn't get to a Drill Pack. What I should have done is just go into my Altaria right away. We're very close to 2 Sky Attacks, and we just needed to get to 2 Sky Attacks to finish off this game. But instead, I stayed in way too long for my opponent to get all the farm, and we didn't even get a shield. So, huge misplay. All I had to do was go into my Altaria and then double Sky Attack and win the game. But I kind of threw that one. which is fine. We're gonna learn from that mistake, and we're gonna win that game next time, right? So here we're against Hypno. I'm gonna throw the Sky Attack before they get to a punch. I don't think Hypnos are running Ice Punch generally, so I believe I don't shield this one. I will try to catch a Thunder Punch with my Hypno here. I'm gonna swap. For some reason, the game didn't let us out, so we're kind of forced to shield here, which is not great. I'm gonna throw the Sky Attack here before they get to the next punch, right? My opponent actually shields again, so now I'm just gonna go into my Hypno right away. And they have the Umbreon, which is a little unfortunate. This is very bad, very bad. I think I'd make a misplay in this game as well. Because I thought that they had a Scrafty in the back, so I was thinking that this game was lost anyways. So I think I make a misplay, but let's see what I do here. They go for the foul plays, and then they're looking to farm us all the way down, which is extremely bad. So now I'm thinking I'm gonna lose this matchup anyways. I might as well swap out to get a head start with our energy in case they have a fighter. And if they have a fighter that we could handle, then maybe we could still win. Here I'm forced to shield, I think. Oh, I don't shield this. Okay, this is very risky by me. And I'm also forced to throw the Hydro Cannon because they had the last foul play here. Looking very bad. We have 3 Pokemon with almost 0 health. Let's see what we can do here. Their Hypno is also very low. Oh yeah, we didn't shield because we know that their Hypno has a Thunder Punch. So we had to save the shield for that. Turns out they had a Swampert in the back. So we could have maybe won this game if we just saved our Empoleon instead of swapping right away. Here I make a sacrificial swap with my Hypno to tank a Hydro Cannon, but unfortunately we can't get to the Sky Attack before my opponent gets to another Hydro Cannon here. So yep, GG's, good play to my well played by my opponent, very well played. But I think that will be the last loss we see in this video. So we had a 5-0, 3-2, 2-3, and now we're going to have another 5-0, I believe. Not trying to spoil it, but let's see. We're against Marowak lead, very good. We've seen this matchup a lot of times. All we have to do is tank the first Shadow Ball, throw the Sky Attack, and see what my opponent does. So I throw here before my opponent gets to the Shadow Ball. I want to see if my opponent shields. My opponent does shield, so now I'm going to match the shield. Yep. We actually threw on CMP. This could be a bait. Yep, so they do bait us with the Bone Club. I'm going to go for the Sky Attack right here. Let's see, my opponent doesn't shield. So now I think I'm going to swap out because I'm thinking they probably have a Grass type Pokemon in the back that our Altaria is good against, right? They come in with Azumarill, we're going to Hypno, and they had a Meganium in the back. So very, very good swap. Because now our Empoleon does not have to see this Meganium. And all we have to do is finish off this Meganium with our Altaria, and our Empoleon will be able to handle the Azumarill in the back. Here I think I just go into my Empoleon to get a jump start with energy because I know my opponent couldn't get to a Frenzy Plant. Just a little bit of head start to ensure that we win this matchup against the Azumarill. I think we almost have a Sky Attack on our Altaria as well, so I don't think there was anything my opponent could do. My opponent actually didn't even go for the Hydro Pump. They might not have the Hydro Pump. So here, let's see. My opponent here throws Hydro Pump, or my opponent only has Play Rough. So yeah, I just need to build up to 2 Drill Packs, and I will win this matchup against the Azumarill, right? Let's see what I do. Yep, I go for the Drill Pack. My opponent sneaked in 2 bubbles, which meant that he was going to get to the Play Rough here. And yep, actually almost kind of got close here. But fortunately, their Azumarill is way too low that we could just Dragon Breaths down with our Altaria. Altaria is a Azumarill counter, confirmed. Here, let's see, Altaria versus Swampert. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, they have a Skarmory in the back, and it's almost a free win generally. They go into Hypno. Again, we don't have our Mew, so it's not a free matchup anymore. I'm going to go for a Sky Attack to chip it down a little bit. I'm going to try to tank one Thunder Punch, and then I'm going to swap out right away. Let's see. They do go for the Thunder Punch. I'm going to try to catch the next one here. Yep. Perfectly catched. Once we catch this Thunder Punch, we know that my opponent couldn't get to a Shadow Ball. So I should be able to just farm all the way down here. Yep, so my opponent goes for another punch, which we don't need to shield. And I'm going to try to Confusion all the way down here. My opponent actually swap out into the Swampert. So this is fine. We still have some energy to throw against this Swampert. And the Confusion is doing a lot of damage. My opponent recognized the Confusion damage and just tried to get rid of our Hypno right away. Here we go for the Sky Attack. It forces my opponent to shield, or we take down the Swampert. We got a shield, which is great. My opponent throws here. I know this is a Hydro Cannon, which does not KO our Altaria. I'm going to let this go. I'm going to continue farm Dragon Breaths. We actually got to the Sky Attack. I believe I'm just going to let this go again, because I'm thinking they have a Skarmory in the back. Whenever you see Swampert, there's a Skarmory in the back, generally. So, let's see. Yep, my opponent has a Skarmory in the back, and there's nothing my opponent can do at this point, because Empoleon will absolutely destroy this Skarmory at this point, right? All we have to do is to get to 2 Hydro Cannons and throw back-to-back Hydro Cannon in order to finish off this Skarmory. Yep, this Hydro Cannon should be able to finish off this Skarmory, and then I think 2 Waterfalls will KO this Swampert, so my opponent concedes the matchup. Very well played. Love seeing Swampert leads, generally a good matchup. Galvantula lead, very good. You want to see this in the lead. Like I mentioned earlier, you don't need to shield the first one. You should come out, you should win this matchup generally, even if they bait in the second one. So I'm going to throw the Sky Attack here before they get to a second charge move. It takes 3 Volt Switches for a move from Galvantula. Here my opponent probably baits us, but we still are going to shield and then try to farm this Galvantula down. Oh, okay, I actually try to farm down with Hypno Swap. I like that play. Because I know that they couldn't get to another one. Here my opponent swapping to Azumarill, which Hypno can absolutely handle. I think I make a mistake here. I miscounted, and I thought this couldn't be a Hydro Pump, and we got pumped. Whenever you think that you can't get pumped, you're gonna get pumped. So unfortunate, but we still took down this Azumarill, and we have very little health for whatever's in the back to farm us. Let's see what they have. They actually had a Medicham, so I had a Sky Attack stored. So all I need to do is get to a Sky Attack, get rid of the shield from Medicham, right? They generally have Ice Punch and Psychic, which are not the greatest against your Empoleon. They actually try to sack the Galvantula, but we just farm it down. Go for the Sky Attack, get the last shield, and now we just need to get to the Drill Pack before they get to a Psychic. And we do get to the Drill Pack before they get to the Psychic to finish off this Medicham. So even if you see a fighter, as long as they don't have shields, Empoleon can still put up a very good fight because it has that flying move, Drill Peck. Here we're against the Machamp, very good lead for my Altaria. But my Hypno would also love to see this Machamp, right? They build up to Rock Slide, and they do go for Rock Slide. Good shield. I'm going to throw the Sky Attack before they get to the next Rock Slide. Hopefully they don't bait us. Let's see. I tried to snipe the Machamp down with my Hypno, but unfortunately my opponent threw the Rock Slide right away. Here I just farm all the way down. I'm down a shield, but it's fine. Now I go into the safe swap into Hypno. Again, I want to see what they have in the back. Turned out they had a Skarmory in the back. So it's very interesting that my opponent didn't save swap into something. But yeah, I think we should be able to take this game. Let's see how we play here. Skarmory goes for the Sky attack. We get off this Thunder Punch. If my opponent doesn't shield, it's looking pretty good for us. Okay, my opponent doesn't shield, and we were able to farm down the Skarmory. And I think we actually get to the Thunder Punch as well. The enemy Azumarill will get a lot of farm here, unfortunately. So now I swap into my Empoleon after we grab the last shield. We're going to tank the Hydro Pump. All we need to do is chip it down with the Drill Peck. We still have a Sky attack stored with our Altaria. All we need to do is the chip down damage here. And then we can finish off this Azumarill with our Altaria. But my opponent actually got a little bit greedy. He wanted extra farm for my Azumarill, for my Altaria. But we actually got to the last Drill Peck. And we still have a Sky attack on our Altaria, so my opponent can seize the matchup. Again, very good game. At this point I was on a 4-win streak with this team, so I had a lot of fun. Here, this is the last game of this video, I think. We're against Ninetales, bad lead, but we still have a good save swap. I'm going to go for the 5-punch because my opponent didn't swap out to force a shield right here. Yep, that's looking good. My opponent throws a move here. I'm not going to shield, even if it's a big move, but it was just a weather ball. Good thing we didn't shield. They had a Swampert in the back, which is very good against my Hypno. I don't have a move that can deal good damage to Swampert besides Confusion. Confusion does chip down this Swampert a lot. At this point, I think I'm going to farm down with our Altaria right here. Let's see. And then I'm going to do the Sky attack against their Alolan Ninetales to hopefully force a shield. But again, I'm putting my faith into my Empoleon to finish off this game. So let's see what we can do here. They come out with... Yep, they come out with Ninetales again. This is a little unfortunate that we lost CMP tie. So I have to throw this Sky attack here. And hoping to get the last shield from my opponent, right? Yep, I do. And then they go into Pelipper. So it's a double water in the back, which is a very interesting line. I've ran into it a couple times so far. Let's see what we can do here. My opponent got out of a move here. I'm thinking if it's Hurricane and it KOs us, then we can farm down with the Altaria. But if it's Weather Ball, we tank it, and we're going to shield the next one. All we have to do at this point is go for the Drill Peck, and right away, you don't have to overfarm here because they get to the Weather Ball very quickly, and you get to the move before the Ninetales get to a big move of Dazzling Gleam, and Weather Ball will not KO here, so that's why Empoleon can just handle this Ninetales at this point, and to finish off the game. Good game to my opponent, and as you guys are going to see, I think this was another 5-0 set, so this team is incredibly strong in my opinion. I had so much fun. Hypno is just as good as a Mew if you don't have access to a Mew. You could run something other than Fire Punch as well. I just like Fire Punch for the steel types, but you could definitely run a Shadow Ball or Focus Blast even if you want to. But yeah, I really enjoyed this team, and please give a like to this video if you enjoyed the battles, and subscribe to see more. And also let me know how this team is working out for you, and I'll see you guys in my next video.